Sure, here's your expanded speech segment in a seamless conversational tone. Success, healing, change, whatever it is you're chasing, it's easy to want it right now. We live in a world that expects instant results. We want the shortcut, the fast track, the guarantee that everything we're working for will happen exactly when we want it. But life doesn't work like that. The truth is, some of the greatest things take time. Some of the most powerful transformations don't happen overnight. And the people who truly succeed, the ones who reach their goals, the ones who become who they're meant to be, are the ones who understand this. Patience and persistence are everything. See, just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Just because you don't see the results today or tomorrow doesn't mean they aren't coming. Every single day you put in the work, every single time you push forward, even when it feels like nothing is changing, you're building something. It's happening, even if you can't see it yet. There's a reason they say patience is a virtue. It's because waiting is hard. Holding on when everything in you wants to quit, that takes strength. But if you quit too soon, you'll never know how close you were. So many people give up right before the breakthrough, right before things start falling into place. But not you. You're not someone who quits. You're someone who understands that maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, all the work, all the sacrifice, all the belief you had in yourself will pay off. Think about a seed planted in the ground. You water it, you make sure it gets sunlight, you take care of it. But for a while, it looks like nothing is happening. Days go by, weeks, maybe even months. And then one day, out of nowhere, a tiny sprout pushes through the soil. That plant was growing the whole time. Underground, where no one could see it, the roots were taking hold, getting stronger, preparing to rise. That's how life works. That's how success works. The question is, can you keep going even when you don't see the growth yet? Can you keep believing in yourself even when you're not getting the results right away? Can you stay committed even when the world tells you it's not happening fast enough? Because if you can, if you refuse to let frustration or impatience shake your focus, you will get there. A lot of people don't like the idea of patience because it sounds like waiting. But patience isn't passive. Patience doesn't mean sitting around, hoping, wishing. Patience is active. It means working, grinding, improving, staying consistent, even when things are moving slower than you'd like. Patience is trusting the process, knowing that every step you take is bringing you closer, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. And persistence, that's what separates the people who make it from the people who don't. It's not always about talent. It's not always about luck. Sometimes it's just about who refuses to give up, who keeps showing up day after day, even when it's hard, even when it's taking longer than expected. So if you ever find yourself frustrated, wondering why things aren't happening as fast as you want, remember this: your time is coming. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but if you stay the course, if you keep pushing, if you refuse to give up, it will come. Life has a way of testing us, of throwing obstacles in our path just when we think we're making progress. You set a goal, you make a plan, you start moving forward, and then, boom, a setback, a delay. Something happens that slows you down, pushes you off course, makes you question whether you're even meant to be on this journey at all. It's frustrating, it's discouraging, and if you're not careful, it can make you want to quit. Here's what you need to remember. A setback is not the end of the road. A delay is not a denial. Just because things aren't happening as quickly or as smoothly as you expected doesn't mean they aren't happening at all. The truth is, everyone faces obstacles. Everyone hits moments where they feel stuck, where the progress they thought they were making suddenly seems to disappear. It's easy to think you're the only one struggling, that everyone else is moving forward while you're standing still. But that's not reality. The people who succeed, the people who reach their goals, the people who make their dreams happen, they aren't the ones who never face setbacks. They're the ones who didn't let those setbacks define them. Think about it. Every great story, every success you've ever heard of includes struggle. The athlete who got cut from the team, the entrepreneur who failed over and over again before building a successful business, the artist who spent years being rejected before finally breaking through. What separates them from the people who gave up? One thing: they kept going. They understood that failure isn't final, that obstacles aren't there to stop you. They're there to test how badly you want it. It's not the easy moments that shape you, it's the hard ones. It's the times when things don't go your way, when you feel like everything is working against you, when you start wondering if it's even worth it. Those are the moments that define who you are. Well, because anyone can keep going when everything is smooth. Anyone can stay motivated when life is easy. But when things get tough, when the door slams in your face, when you take 2 steps forward and get knocked 3 steps back, what do you do then? Do you give up? Or do you get back up and keep moving? That's the choice. That's the difference between people who make it and people who don't. And listen, I know it's not easy. I know how discouraging it can be to feel like you're giving everything you've got and still not seeing the results. I know how tempting it is to tell yourself, maybe this isn't for me, or maybe I should just stop trying. But I'm here to tell you, don't. Don't let one moment of disappointment erase everything you've worked for. Don't let one setback make you forget how far you've come. Because here's the truth. If you stay in the fight, if you keep pushing, if you refuse to let failure be the final chapter of your story, you will make it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day. One day, you'll look back at every struggle, every delay, every moment you thought you wouldn't make it, and you'll realize it wasn't stopping you. It was preparing you. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in your journey. Believe that even though you're not where you want to be yet, you are still on your way. Because let's be honest, when things don't happen as fast as we want them to, when we don't see results right away, it's easy to start doubting. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this isn't meant for me. Maybe I should just settle. That little voice creeps in, whispering reasons why you should stop, why you should turn back, why you should give up before you embarrass yourself. But that voice is lying to you. That voice is fear, and fear has one job: to keep you from moving forward. The problem is, most people listen to that voice. Most people see the gap between where they are and where they want to be, and instead of trusting the process, they let doubt convince them it's never going to happen. But let me tell you something. The people who succeed, the people who reach their goals, they don't get there because the path was easy. They get there because they refused to stop walking it. They kept moving forward even when nothing seemed to be working, even when the road felt long, even when they had every reason to give up. That's what belief is. It's not just hoping. It's not just wishing. It's knowing. It's knowing deep down that just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. It's trusting that every effort you put in, every lesson you learn, every challenge you overcome is moving you closer, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. See, growth isn't always obvious. You don't always see it happening in real time. Sometimes it's only when you look back that you realize how far you've come. Think about it. Think about a time in your life when you struggled, when you didn't know if you would make it through, when you thought you had hit a dead end, but you kept going. And now looking back, you can see it for what it really was: a step forward. A moment that made you stronger. That's how the journey works. It's only when you refuse to quit that things start falling into place. But you have to believe in that process. You have to believe in yourself even when no one else does. Because there will be times when people don't see your vision. There will be times when the people around you don't understand why you're still pushing, why you're still holding on, why you're still fighting for something that hasn't happened yet. But guess what? They don't have to understand. It's not their journey, it's yours. So don't let their doubt become your doubt. Don't let their fears become your fears. And most importantly, don't let temporary frustration make you forget the bigger picture. Because where you are right now is not where you'll always be, Sue. The struggles you're facing today are not the end of your story. You are still moving forward. You are still growing. You are still becoming the person you are meant to be. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But one day, you'll look back and realize that every step, every challenge, every moment of doubt was leading you exactly where you were meant to go. There will be days when you feel unstoppable, when everything seems to be working in your favor, when the dream feels close enough to touch. Enough to touch. And then there will be days when nothing seems to go right. Days when you question if you're even on the right path. Days when the weight of doubt, fear, and frustration feels heavier than the belief that got you started in the first place. That's when most people give up. That's when most people decide that maybe it's not worth it. But that's also the moment that separates those who succeed from those who don't. See, resilience isn't just about bouncing back when things go wrong. It's about refusing to stay down when you get knocked down. It's about standing tall, even when the world gives you every reason to crumble. It's about deciding over and over again that no matter how many times you fall, you will always get back. Because if you're chasing something big, if you're working towards something that really matters, there will be obstacles, there will be setbacks, there will be moments when you feel like everything is against you. But none of that matters if you refuse to quit. Doubt is going to show up. It always does. That little voice in your head will tell you, what if this isn't working? What if I fail? What if I'm wasting my time? But what if you don't fail? What if this struggle is just part of the process? What if you're one step away from your breakthrough and you don't even realize it? Most people let doubt stop them. But the people who make it, the people who truly change their lives, are the ones who push through the doubt, who take another step even when they're unsure, who keep going even when they're scared. And look, I get it. It's hard to keep believing when everything around you is telling you to give up. It's hard to stay focused when the results aren't coming as fast as you want them to. But that's what resilience is. It's not about having all the answers. It's about showing up anyway. It's about pushing forward even when it's uncomfortable, even when it hurts, even when you feel like you have nothing left to give. Because the truth is, you are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you realize. And the only way you'll ever know just how powerful you are is if you keep going. Most people quit too soon. They let fear win. They let frustration convince them to walk away. They let temporary struggles make them forget why they started in the first place. But you are not most people. You are built different. You have something inside of you that refuses to settle, that refuses to accept anything less than what you are capable of. And as long as you keep fighting, as long as you refuse to back down, you will get there. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But one day you will look back at every obstacle, every moment of doubt, every time you wanted to quit but didn't. And you will realize that was the moment you became unstoppable. A lot of people get stuck waiting for the big moment, the breakthrough, the perfect opportunity, the sign that tells them it's time. But success doesn't happen in one big moment. Change doesn't happen all at once. It happens in the small, consistent steps you take every single day. The ones that seem insignificant. The ones that feel like they aren't making a difference. The ones no one sees. Those are the steps that build you. Those are the steps that separate the people who dream from the people who do. See, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants the reward, the results, the success. But the question is, are you willing to do the little things it takes to get there? Because that's what it comes down to. It's easy to say you want something. It's easy to get excited at the beginning when everything feels new and full of possibility. But can you stay committed when the excitement fades? Can you keep putting in the work when it feels like nothing is happening? Because that's the test. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They don't fail because they don't have potential. They fail because they get impatient. They don't see the results fast enough, so they convince themselves it's not working. They stop putting in the effort because they don't realize that every little step was moving them forward, even when it didn't feel like it. Think about a sculptor chipping away at a block of stone. At first, all you see is the rock. You don't see the masterpiece inside, but the sculptor does. So they keep working, chip by chip, strike by strike. And for a long time, it looks like nothing is happening. But then, after all those small, steady efforts, the shape starts to appear. The vision becomes real. That's how progress works. That's how success is built, not by waiting for some magical moment, but by showing up, doing the work, and trusting that every little effort is shaping you into who you are meant to be. And listen, I know it's not always easy to see the bigger picture when you're in the middle of it. I know it's frustrating to feel like you're working hard and not seeing results fast enough. But that's why you have to remind yourself, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, every small step you took, every sacrifice you made, every decision to keep going when it would have been easier to quit, it will all come together. The people who win are the ones who stay in the game. The ones who keep swinging. The ones who trust the process, even when the process is slow. So don't get discouraged. Don't let impatience make you stop. Just keep showing up, keep working, keep believing. Because one day, when everything finally comes together, you'll look back and realize it was never just one big moment. It was every single step you took along the way that got you there. There's something you need to understand about this journey you're on. Your time is coming. Not on anyone else's schedule. Not when the world expects it. Not when it's convenient, but when it's meant to. And when that moment comes, when everything finally lines up, when all the work, all the struggle, all the sacrifices start to pay off, it won't be because you got lucky. It won't be because things just happened to work out. It'll be because you stayed the course, because you refused to quit, because you kept believing, even when it would have been easier to walk away. See, life has a funny way of making you prove how bad you want something before it gives it to you. It's not going to hand you success just because you asked for it. It's going to test you. It's going to push you. It's going to throw obstacles in your way. And see if you have the patience, the discipline, and the resilience to keep going when everything in you wants to stop. Most people don't pass that test. Most people let the struggle break them instead of build them. But you're different. You're built for this. And as long as you refuse to give up, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. You've come too far to turn back now. You've put in too much work to let doubt take over. And yes, it's taking longer than you thought it would. Yes, it's been harder than you expected, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Some of the best things in life take time. Some of the greatest victories come after the longest battles. But if you quit now, you'll never know how close you were. Think about that for a second. Think about how many people walked away right before things started to turn around. Think about how many people settled for less because they got tired of waiting, because they let frustration win, because they stopped believing in what was possible for them. That's not going to be your story. That's not how this ends for you. You are not someone who lets circumstances dictate your future. You are not someone who lets time or fear or struggle decide what you can and cannot have. You are someone who keeps showing up. Someone who keeps fighting. Someone who understands that maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, everything you've been working for, everything you've been waiting for, will be yours. Not everything you've been through, every challenge, every setback, every moment of doubt, it's all been preparing you to become stronger, wiser, more resilient. Because success isn't just about talent. It's not just about opportunity. It's about persistence. It's about refusing to quit when things get tough. It's about understanding that just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day you'll look back and see that every struggle was shaping you. Every delay was teaching you patience. Every failure was pushing you to grow. You'll realize that nothing was wasted, that everything had a purpose. That every step, no matter how small, was leading you exactly where you were meant to go. So don't give up. Don't let frustration make you forget why you started. Don't let fear talk you out of your own potential. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep pushing forward. Because when your moment comes, and it will come, you'll know it wasn't luck. It was you. It was your determination, your sacrifice, your refusal to quit that got you there. And that will make the victory even sweeter.